Hello, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the pre-program information webinar on Chief Financial Officer program by Singapore Management University. We'll just wait for a couple of more minutes so that we can get all the participants on board. Hello, Ariel. Hello, Lim. Hello, Lucy. Hello, Maribel. Hello, Sarvanan. Good evening. Hello, Yap. Perfect. We can start off with a short ice-breaking session in which you can mention your your years of experience, and if you're a part of if Singapore, then you can mention your city. If you're apart from Singapore, then you can mention your country as well. Good evening, everyone. Wow, Malaysia. Yes, Lim. Yes, we already spoke over the call. Yes. Hello, Siok. Hello, Ariel. Good evening. We'll just wait for just a minute more, and then we'll start off. Oh, nice. We have a couple of people from Malaysia as well. Welcome to everyone. All right, perfect. We'll start off with the session. All right. So yes, good evening, everyone, to one and all, and welcome once again to the pre-program information webinar on Chief Financial Officer program by Singapore Management University. We'll just quickly move on to the agenda. Yes, we'll start off with the speaker, that's Professor François. We'll also move on to the SMU advantages, program details. Who is this program for? Learning outcomes, curriculum, success coach, program highlights, the SMU Associate Alumni Network, the certification criteria, about Emeritus, and then we'll have the Q&A sessions as well. And at the end, we'll have the next steps. Can we go to the next slide, please? Thank you so much. So yes, this is our speaker, Professor François. He is the head of the Learning and Innovation team of SMU Executive Development, which oversees designing and delivering cutting-edge face-to-face, virtual, and hybrid learning journeys for our clients, with a strong emphasis on generating a measurable and sustainable impact on participants and organizations. He has an extensive leadership experience in various MNCs and tech startups as a marketing manager. Hello, Professor François.
Hi, good evening.
Yes.
Good afternoon, maybe, but good evening, if I understand correctly from the chat.
Yes.
It's a pleasure to be with you and to be able to walk you through the outline of the CFO program today. So maybe we can move to the next slide because I don't want to see my face on screen. Thank you very much. Before I move into the different sections of the presentation, yeah, just a bit more about myself. I'm very delighted to see that some of you are based in Malaysia. It's a country which is dear to my heart. I was there for 8 years before moving to Singapore. I'm very warm welcome to all of you who are in Singapore, in Malaysia, elsewhere. I've seen the Philippines as well. A warm welcome to all of you. So let's start with an overview of the program. We're very delighted to have partnered with Emeritus to be able to cover that important topic, which is the CFO, included in the CFO program. We are quite well ranked in terms of, as you can see here on that slide, especially in the finance area. We have quite good faculty in that field. You'll be able to enjoy lots of the sessions being designed and delivered by them. Internal faculty, but also associate faculty, and we'll be able to come back to that since it's important to us through the video recordings, but also the webinars to be able to open up a window to the industry and bring people from the industry. I'll say a bit more about that in a few seconds. So can we move to the next slide, please? So this program is very comprehensive, as you will see if you have not yet seen the details on the website. The next round will start on the 29th of March, which is coming very soon. We already have quite a significant number of participants, so we can only urge you to reserve your seat for that new cohort. We had the first cohort beginning of the year. Comprehensive because it ends for 9 to 10 months, 31 weeks, 31 weeks if I remember. We'll have the detailed number of modules. We'll speak a bit about what is your commitment in a sense in terms of learning, and we'll get into details of the modules very soon. So in terms of eligibility, as you see, we are quite open in terms of the minimum experience. So it's clearly dedicated to professionals like you who are online, who already have significant experience and would like to learn more about the role of the CFO and equip themselves with the capabilities, knowledge, and skills in order to be able to get that kind of role and position in your existing organization or a new organization. Let's get into precisely who the program is for. If we can get to the next slide, please. So basically, what we have thought about is to make sure that we would be able to attract to that program quite a wide focus, but wide range of leaders. So first of all, if you are new in a CFO position, or if you want to take the full advantage of the role of CFO, you are more than welcome to join this program. We hope that you will see throughout the next slides that we've actually covered a lot of interesting topics that probably hopefully will stretch you based on what you already know. As a complement, we also would like to welcome senior finance professionals, though not necessarily today in a role or an equivalent of the role of CFO, for them to be able to take charge of that kind of role or other senior financial leadership roles in the future. And last but not least, and that's quite important to us, and that's why you will see that there's a lot of topics that are not, accounting, I would say, kind of topics, or what I would also call very core financial kind of topics, bringing some business heads, CXOs, especially from operations, but not only, and other financial leaders also and help them to be able to become a CFO and a future-ready CFO in their respective organizations. So you have a list of the key designations that may be included, and if you don't find your designation in that list, it's just for the record, in a sense. Let's go to the next slide, please. Oops, you skipped one, I think. Yeah, learning outcomes. So first of all, it's very beautifully named strategic financial prowess. Basically making sure that you are able to have a strategic financial leadership and put it in action. And also, as an extension of that, to be able to innovate. And you will see in the detail of the modules that we have actually embedded into the 31 weeks, 2 weeks about design thinking and innovation applied to the role of CFO. That's just an example of how it is important to us to really be able to elevate the strategic financial mastery. Clearly, a very important part is about the proficiency in financial governance, so financial planning, governance, investing, ethical financial practices also. We have a module about financial misconduct, as you will see. The importance of technology. How can we leverage the technology that is available today and the future technology in the best possible way? So we'll cover AI, blockchain, data analytics, clearly. That's an important part of the program. And we conclude, and I've already started introducing the different pillars through those learning outcomes. We conclude the program by speaking about leadership. Leadership applied to the role of CFO and what it requires to be a forward-looking CFO. And it's actually a way to close the loop, because as you will see when we get into the different modules, the very first week is being delivered by a CFO. So somebody who comes from the field, from the practice, will be introducing us to the perspective that we had behind the design of the program. And when we end, when we close back on the role of the CFO as a leader. So clearly, the last one is a complement to the governance, having a very holistic financial expertise, to be able to, in particular, include, for instance, beyond long-term planning, the way to deal with banks and the banking relationships. Can we go to the next slide, please? While I continue, don't hesitate to drop your questions in the Q&A if you have any along the way. We'll take some time at the end of the session to address them. So what else would I like to highlight before we get into a quick scan of the different modules? As I said, 22 modules with 4 pillars, and I say 31 weeks. Is a program which is a combination. It's a blended program. It's a combination of video recordings, live sessions, very important, and especially it's not the second little icon there, but the fourth to the right. Some of the live sessions are regularly being led by our success coach. The success coach has a core critical role in weaving everything and connecting all the dots as you go through different weeks. So the webinars are a combination of those sessions, but also clearly from industry speakers that are coming in, some of them being some of our faculty, but also some other guest speakers, for instance, some CFOs that we have as part of one of the speaker panels. There's a lot of case studies and concrete application. One of the things they will be invited to do at the end of every single module is to translate back to your practice the learning of the week. So that's very important for us to be able to make it real to you by inviting you to do that kind of reflection. Of course, this program is designed to help you connect with others, with your peers and your colleagues who will be joining, and extend your network across boundaries, also boundaries that can be regional, national, and also functional, because of the blend that we're trying to bring in terms of the profiles of different participants. I come back to the alumni status at the very end. We have a bit more details about that. And I will also come back to a certificate of completion. And I don't recall if we have something specific about that, but very importantly, at the end of the program, you will have the chance of being able to be joining us on campus in order to maybe meet face-to-face for the first time. It happened in other and previous similar programs that some of the participants located in the same country were able to meet before and met before. But in any case, we'll be welcome to join that networking event on our campus in Singapore at the end of the journey. So let's move to the next slide, please. I am not going to go into the details of all the modules here one by one, because we would still be there in a few hours, considering that once again, it's an equivalent of 4 or 5 hours a week of learning, which is a commitment, absolutely. And I just want to give a heads up, and I will come back to that, on the fact that we have tried to make our best to make it practical and digestible in a sense, especially through the videos that are cut down into bite-sized kind of chunks, so that it's easy to pause, to go back to it, to reflect, and so on and so forth. And at the end of the day, it's still a commitment in terms of the number of hours in order to get the certificate at the end of the journey. So the 4 phases are, the first one is about the strategic approach of the CFO. As I mentioned to you, module 1 is being led by a CFO called Thomas Tan. And then there are 2 modules that are dedicated to the connection between the corporate and financial strategy and how to measure strategy. So the connection between strategy and finance. Module 4, as I mentioned, is about driving innovation through design thinking. So we apply design thinking to the role of the CFO. And then we get into value creation with module 5 getting into the details of the value drivers, and module 6 expanding on value creation in companies. So that's basically to set the tone from a high-level perspective, very strategic and also innovative. That's the objective of phase 1. Phase 2, as you can see here, is longer and gets into all the details of financial management and corporate governance that we believe would be useful for aspiring CFOs. It goes financial planning and analytics, valuation, corporate governance, ESG investing and reporting, portfolio management. I'm not going to say out loud everything. You can read much better than me talking about it. I just want to highlight the financial misconduct module, which is very important to us and led by one of our faculty. And also the banking relationship. We are very grateful to have one of our associate faculty who's an ex-banker, currently advisor of companies in Indonesia, being able to come and share about how to optimize relationships with banks. So those are the first 2 phases of the curriculum. So you see already 15 modules. And the last 2 phases are one dedicated to technologies. I already mentioned that. So 1 module on each of the core topics that I mentioned previously. And phase 4, we've tried to get the essence of what we believe could be useful for leaders, financial leaders. So clearly building powerful relationships, influencing, creating your network. What is the future of work so that we, as a CFO, are able to make sure that we are connected to what's going to change in our teams, in the demands of the different people who are in our respective teams. And we'll close with a sort of overview of what are the key qualities of a financial leader as a complement to the module 20 and 21. As I mentioned, we'll have 1 day of campus experience and networking before getting a proper graduation ceremony and celebrating together. It will be an opportunity to network with your colleagues of the program and also with our faculty who will be invited. We'll try to make sure that we complement with the learning with some useful networking sessions, fireside chats, or even faculty-driven sessions for that last day that will be happening at the very end once everybody has been able to finish all the modules. Can we go to the next slide, please? So just a few words, and I suppose you will get a copy of those slides, or you can even take pictures with your phone of the different slides. We're very happy to be able to welcome the participants who complete the CFO program to our Associate Alumni Network. As you can see here, there's a list of very interesting benefits to being an alumni, up to 20% discount on some of our open enrollment programs. Clearly, the most important part is joining the network and being able to benefit from some events that are online, face-to-face, and that we conduct regularly on our campus at SMU. I'm having a look at the comment that just popped up from the chat, which is quite interesting. I hope we'll be able to go back to that. Can we go to the next slide, please? So at the end, you will receive a certificate of completion, which is something very important to us because that's the official seal of completion from SMU. It is important also to remind everyone that there's a minimum of 80% of the required activities and assignments that need to be completed. It is feasible. Clearly, our job and the success coach job is to make sure that there's nobody left behind. It is also very important at that point in time to remind everyone that when you embark in such a program, the critical weeks are the first weeks in terms of the learning routine. Organizing yourselves in order to be able to accommodate for those 4 to 5 hours a week is absolutely critical. You can experiment, trying to do it at a certain time of the day during the weekend, absolutely up to you. But making sure that you reserve that space and then you get into that routine so that you have those 4 or 5 hours constantly scheduled. It is not always easy. It might sound a bit stupid that I remind you that, but our experience shows that, yeah, the first 2-3 weeks are critical to get into that rhythm and then to be able to have that kind of emerging habits in terms of learning to be successful. And then that percentage of 80%, it will be something which will be quite easily achievable. For those of you who really have absolutely almost let me put it that way, very little financial knowledge, the success coach is here to support you. The success coach is not going to be able to do some one-to-one coaching, but clearly success coach is here to grade your different assignments and stimulate you and support you. So it's important that the criteria for eligibility and that you come from those different kind of areas of expertise, so you're not completely lost and you're motivated to learn, especially in phase 2, all the detailed financial knowledge that is required to be able to go through the activities and assignment. Can I get you the next slide, please? And I think I'm done. I will pass it over to you, Vivek, and I will be completely available to answer all of your questions at the end. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor François. So we'll take up the next slide, that is about Emeritus. We are in partners with the best universities around the globe to create online courses as well. The Singapore Management University has collaborated with Emeritus to create online courses, and Emeritus has served over 250,000 students across the globe. As you can see, the basic percentages where all the participants and the applicants are from, and yes, that'll be it. Yes, if we can move to the next slide, please. Yes, so it's the Q&A time. If there are any questions, we are happy to answer. So you can drop in on your Q&A dashboard, and then we can go ahead and happy to answer all those. Yeah.
No question, which is always a good sign in the sense. There we go. I know it's
yes. All right. Hi, Ariel, first of all. Yes. So, Professor, if you want to take that one off.
I don't recall exactly. I'm going to try to answer the question, Ariel. We definitely have some readings that are recommended in pre-readings, post-readings. That's absolutely the case. I have to be honest with you, I don't recall if there are specifically books that are recommended. The reason behind that, I don't think there are many, to be honest with you. It can be an extension of the learning. You can actually also ask that to a success coach during the session. But that is supposed to be a self-contained program. So you are not supposed to read books as a complement of the program to be able to have the certificate of completion and finish the program. So if there are books, which I don't recall really, it's really exceptional. The real learning is happening online through the different modalities that we use. Once again, case studies, pre-readings, and the recorded videos and webinars. Do you want me to take the next one, Vivek?
Yeah, sure. Can I elaborate on type of assignments and assessments required? Yes. So we are currently having activities which includes, assignments, case studies, group discussions, which will be done, and it's completely flexible as well, William. So we are currently giving you we are expecting you to dedicate around 5 to 6 hours on an average every week, and those 5 hours again are flexible, so you can go ahead and do all those kinds of assignments, right? So assignments, as you were asking, right, they will be related to the kind of topic which would be studied in that specific week, so that we can absorb in a much more effective fashion. So that's how. So for example, if the topic is mergers and acquisition, so we'll be having activities allotted to that, so that it'll be much easier for us. So I hope I answered your question. All right.
I see that Ankit is answering Lucy.
Yeah.
Is good.
We can pick it up from Sarvanan. He says that what is the difference between the CFO program and CFA program? Yep.
I'm not so sure I understand fully the question. The question is about how do you become, how is it helpful to become a CFO in the banking sector, I suppose?
Yes.
Well, I can't really say that this program is dedicated to become a CFO in the banking sector. It's supposed to be a program that addresses all industries, not specifically a banking sector. So there is actually a module about banking, but seen from the CFO perspective. So that's my best answer to that question, Sarah. And I hope I answered your question. And or if you were asking a different kind of question, comparing programs, please type an extension to your question. And Kit is typing. So there will be a compliment. Any other question? Burning question that you have in mind? Well, I can answer that question. I think I will try. How a non-finance guy would benefit from this program? Well, as I tried to explain at the beginning, I think that the core thing is to help you being able to fully acquire the mindset, the vocabulary, the skills, and knowledge in order for you, if you are currently into general management, to be able to do at least two things. The first one is be able to have an even more fruitful dialogue with CFOs, anybody from finance. And the second one is to be able to create a bridge towards that kind of role in your existing organization or in other kind of organization. So it's really the question for you as a participant is that what kind of career plan do you have relative to financial management, moving from general management to something which is into finance? And with that program, hopefully that would facilitate the kind of transition. So that will be probably my best answer. Beyond that, being able to tell you that you can guarantee having a CFO position will be a bit far-fetched, depending completely on the organization you are into today. But it might actually be absolutely the case in some organizations, and it depends a lot on the context. I hope I answered your question. Johnny, very good question. It does compare to MBA in the sense that it's not an MBA. So an MBA is a full-fledged program that is covering a lot of other topics. This one is really dedicated to the financial knowledge that a potential CFO would like to acquire. So it is not an MBA. If you want to do an MBA, we have beautiful MBA opportunities at SMU, but it's not comparable to an MBA. There is some overlap clearly, but it's not an MBA. Thank you. Any other question that you still have percolating in your brain after that's at the end of that session? All right. And I think, Vivek, that we don't have any more questions.
Sure. All right, then. So if there are no further questions, we can go on to the next slide. Yes, thank you so much. So yes, if you have any kind of doubts, any kind of queries, as you already know, this course is going to start from March 29th. It's just 7 days left. Although this is the contact information right there on the screen, you can take a screenshot, right, so that you can actually get back to us whenever you're comfortable to have in contact with us, and we'll be happy to help you out and guide you towards this beautiful curriculum. All right, and thank you so much, Professor Francois, right, to actually explain this in a most very efficient manner, right, and very clearly as well. So yes, thanks so
Thank you
much.
very much, everyone.
Yes.
Thank you, Vivek. Thank you for joining, and we look forward to seeing you on the forum. Thanks. Have a good evening, everyone.
Thank you so much, everyone. Good evening.